Hi, I'm Mr. B Self-Made and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian Tracy, and why I spent $10,000 on a 3.5 day training program. And in fact, when you do the maths, maybe put my hand in my head, only joking, but when you do the maths, I probably spent $15,000 circa on the whole trip from door to door, including food, accommodation, etc. Um, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. Why did I make the decision to go? Because people are like, why did you decide to go? Well, there's a few reasons. First of all, of course, you guys know I'm a big Brian Tracy fan, and I'm big on personal development, right? So he doesn't do much training now because of COVID. He's getting old. He's not able to travel as much. And he's been doing this program for years, but it was never applicable to me because I wasn't really in that space as a speaker. But now more and more people are asking me to speak publicly, public speaking, keynote speaking, and pay me for the pleasure. And I like to always be a 10 out of 10 for everything that I do and deliver, right? Especially when I'm being paid for it. So I recognized that I was delivering talks and I wasn't getting the standing ovations that I wanted, and I wasn't getting that. I wasn't feeling. It wasn't that I wasn't feeling confident, but it was. I just wasn't totally happy with. I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be a 10. So I said, look, I personally believe, and I know I'm biased. I think I've got the opportunity to be trained by, and I won't say in which order, but number one and number two in the game. For those of you who don't know, Bianca is an international speaker. He speaks around the world on personal development, personal branding, and is an incredible speaker. Incredible, like some things just come naturally. I know I'm biased, but equally I'll just tell you if she was shit too. But she is absolutely incredible, right? And then Brian Tracy is like he's delivered talks to hundreds of thousands, if forget that, millions of people. So I said, I've got number one in the game, number one in the game, and number two in the game, whichever order that you guys think that is. Put it below. I'm not getting involved in that, but it was a unique opportunity for me to really get training from him, and up my levels, right? And there's a quote that I like that I used recently. I think it was Proverbs 27:13 or something like that, and it said, "Iron sharpens iron." And at the end of the day, whilst I'm good at what I do, I need to be better, and I want to be a 10, right? So that was why I went on the course. And then another part was we actually have our own program coming out called How to Become a Public Speaker, delivered by Bianca. And I was like, well, if I can contribute with that, with any extra bits of sprinkle that I've learned and the things that work, and you can adapt that and use that potentially on your program, then fantastic. So that was it. And lastly, the guy's getting old. He's like 87 years old. The guy's getting old. He was 78 years old, sorry. The guy's getting old, and I'm like, these legends are not going to be around forever, and it's a unique opportunity for me to be able to have some time with the man, the myth, the legend. Living legend, I must say as well. So I flew to California. It was in San Diego, and that's where his head office is based. I flew alone, so Mrs. C didn't come. She was here cracking on with her various tasks in life. I flew premium economy. Oh my goodness, it was like I was suffering. There was no business upgrade available anyway, but I chose premium economy because the business price was too wild. It was too much. Like I can't. But then when I got to the airport, I was like, let me try an upgrade, and there was just nothing available. Then when I suffered on the way there, on the way back, I was literally second in the queue to try and get an upgrade. I got there so early, like 4 hours early. I was like, I can't live like this. Let me get an upgrade, and there was none. But to be honest with you, just digressing to the end of the story, when I got to the airport, the lady was so unhelpful. I went to her, oh, is there any before she even said, no, sorry, there's no upgrades. What? And our plane in the premium bit where I was, it wasn't packed. Maybe for business was busy. But you get certain energies from people, and you're like, no matter what I asked for, you was going to say no. Anyway, that was my experience. My experience with flying with BA, unfortunately, has not always been great, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I flew to California, never been before. So on the way there, I was kind of posting about it, and people were reaching out to me. They're like, "Hey B, yeah, I'm in LA." People that I know within my network, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even like, my geography is terrible at best. I was not very good at geography, and whilst I'm well traveled, I still find it difficult to connect places, especially in America. But it was like a 2 hour drive, 2.5 hour drive. People were reaching out to me, and I was like, "LA, okay, maybe." Then I was like, if I end up going to anywhere in LA, I can already just seeing it's just gonna be. And the people that are reaching out to me, to be fair, they weren't the let's go and have a quiet dinner type of people. So I landed, got my bags, bumped into Eddie Hearn at the airport. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Obviously, I bought his book. I had like this fanboy moment, right? But anyway, we move on. And he's got a great book, actually, Relentless. I respect his hustle, no matter what people say, you know, whatever. Everyone has their opinion, but I respect the hustle. Anyway, tried to find a car, jumped in a car, went to my hotel. Nice hotel. It's really interesting because they recommended this hotel for all of us, right? So to give you a bit of context, there was only 9 people that had the opportunity to have this training course, and he does it 2 or 3 times a year. So it was going to be a small group of people. Got to the hotel, incredible hotel, bit oldie-woldy, not really my style. If I can find some pictures, I'll give it to you, so you can just slide it in and show people. But it wasn't like, oh my God, it was decent. Fair, it was decent enough. They had restaurants, they had gym. Oh my goodness, this gym. I know I'm not a gym guy. I've got my gym in my house, but they had equipment that I had to read the little thing, the box, right, that tells you what to do. I'm like, what is this? It was like loads of cable-related machines. Every machine had like screens, and this gym was massive. And for context, I used to work in a gym, multiple gyms, in fact. So I've been around equipment, but I know things have evolved, and that was a long time ago. But I was like, oh my God, this stuff is cool. Anyway, so the hotel was cool, went in, checked in, and I was a mess. It's 8 hours behind, right? And I was an absolute mess. So it was adapting to that time zone. It was hard. So day one, people were like, are you going out? I arrived on Monday. Left on Sunday, arrived on Monday. And day one, I was like, I'm just going to stay in. I'm chilled, order my food. So first thing I do, go to my Uber Eats. I'm ordering my fruits, all of my drinks, my ginger shots. First of all, reception were like, Mr. Cole, you have a delivery here? I was like, yes, can you bring it up for me, please? They were like, oh, certainly. After about 10 deliveries in, they're like, yeah, can you come down to reception, please? But I was ordering all my water and all my drink. Like, listen, they want to finesse you in the hotel, but also they just don't have what you want. So I was ordering my fruits and my drinks and everything, which is really awesome. So the next day, the Tuesday, so remember the webinar doesn't start until Wednesday night, right? And so in real life, HRO are calling me, but I will answer that call in just a moment. If they ring back again, we'll see. So day 2, I said I'm just gonna chill. I went to the pool area. And just had a bit of a chill, just chilled in all day, nothing fancy. Ordered room service, then ordered Uber Eats. Happy days. But the tiredness was kicking in, and I just wasn't able to sleep the night before, and it was not a good look. So my travel agent, shout out Molly, Gem, helps you with travel, and traveling can be quite a ball ache now. But money makes that journey less painful for sure. And you pay only a little fraction more, and it just gives you that extra peace of mind. Anyway, coming back. So she said to me, oh, Brian, have you tried this melatonin? I was like, what? No? I've never even heard of it. Have you heard of it? Yeah? Okay, maybe I was alone. Have you guys heard of it? Let me know. Heard about it? Let me know in the chat box. I was like, no, but I need to sleep right now because I'm a mess. So I went on, she goes, you can get it over the counter there. And in the UK, it's not easy to get. You can't get it over the counter. So I went onto my Uber Eats, found the pharmacy, melatonin, gummies, book, order, 20 minutes, bang 2 of those, Slept like a baby. Oh my goodness. Oh, why haven't you guys been telling me? And I don't care if it's bad for me. Don't put it in the comments if it's bad for me. I don't care, right? So I did that. What next day was the Wednesday now being the webinar. I said, okay, cool. This is the evening. So this was just a meet and greet almost. It was light nibbles. No, I think they called it like a cocktail reception. I don't know about cocktail reception, but it was a reception. So you go to his office, and if in his office, they just had a table when they had some nibbles and some wine and some drinks and stuff like that, and everybody that was there. And it's really interesting. I met this guy. I wasn't sure who was going to be there, demographic of the type of people that was going to be there, and it was very diverse, I must say. There was some people there was Asian, Black, Caucasian, so it was a real mix, right? So that was really good fun, meeting everybody, having a conversation. And I met this guy, actually. We ended up hitting it off. We still speak. We just messaged the other day. And when I introduced myself to him, let me give you the thought process behind this first of all, right? Before I get there. It's like, what do you wear? So it's always dress to impress. Always. So I said to myself, okay, but on day one, it's all about, we've got to control the room, right? Day one, I didn't want to overdo it and be too intimidating by what I wear. I wanted to still be approachable. So I didn't want to wear a suit or anything too powerful or anything like that. This is the thought process that goes behind everything, right? Everything is with purpose, for sure. Anyway, so I decided to wear like some jeans, a pink shirt. It's still, a nice fitted bespoke shirt, and like grey jeans and grey and pink trainers, which were like Yeezys. Keeping a little pink dash there in the Yeezys. They wanted to still stand out, be memorable, but not too, you can't approach me. Anyway, had a great conversation with people, and I met this guy coming back to that where I left off. And first thing he said to me was, I said, hi, blah, blah, and spoke to him, and he goes, I'm the janitor. I said, janitor? Well, why would you say that? And then he just kind of just smirked. We didn't have that relationship at that time. And then I pulled him up on it like 20 minutes later. I was like, why would you introduce yourself as a janitor? We know, not that there's anything wrong with it. And he basically gave a stat that more janitors in the US own their home than any other group of people, or whatever it was, right? I was like, okay, that's interesting. But he was a black guy. And I just found it interesting that he would introduce himself like that. And I was questioning him afterwards when we spoke, like, is it more about there's some insecurity or whatever it may be? I challenged him on it because I think that we have a responsibility also as leaders to make sure that we're presenting ourselves in the right way. So he was like, the reason why he does that is he wants to see how people react. I'm like, okay. Not sure if that's a good enough reason, but that's his reason. Anyway, we ended up hitting it off anyway. I'll get to that in a moment. So that was day one. So on the Wednesday, we went round in the room. Who was who? Brian came in, introduced himself. His daughter came in, she also took part in the delivery of the sessions. And then, which is a really important part, which I have a meeting with in 36 minutes time, I met Brian Tracy's business partner, a chap called Eric, really cool guy. And everybody's introduced him, and he said he's Eric. He's been working with Brian for the last 20 years as his digital marketing or marketing expert. And I was like, oh my God. Like, if you think about it, on my journey, these guys are marketing experts. And I said to myself, that's the guy. He's the man. I need to talk to him because I'm going through a journey of putting everything online, digital content and so on and so forth. Effectively what these guys have been doing for 20, 30 years. He can save me a lot of time, a lot of pain, which comes to another reason why you go on these courses, because you want to make sure that you want to get to where you want to get to as quickly as possible without the pain, without the stress, without the bad habits, which is why people go on these courses, like myself. So he did his pitch. As soon as it finished, I went and spoke to him. Everyone went to speak to Brian, and quite rightly so, and I went to speak to him. And he was like, you want to talk to me? I was like, yeah. I said, I need to understand what you do and how you do it. And I was like, so we was chatting, and I said, what's your price point? Like, tell me where your fees start from after we had a conversation. And he was like, $10,000 retainer is where you're looking at, up to 100K. So I hadn't had any alcohol at this point, and I was like, "Jeez, is this guy gonna finesse me? I don't know, but he can accelerate my business far quicker because he's got the experience, knowledge, and understanding, and we have similar products as well." And I'll let you guys know how that call goes after this, right? So we exchanged contact details. He tried to fob me off with one of his colleagues, and I was like, no, I don't want to talk to them. So anyway, we exchanged contact details, and I have a meet with him in just a moment. And then the guy that I spoke to said he was going to be the janitor. He offered. We were all staying in the same hotel pretty much. He said, "Do you want to lift back?" So there's two of us. We jumped in his car. He had a really nice Tesla. I've not really been a big Tesla fan, but when I saw the car, I was like, this is kind of mean. It was like a matte blacked out. Yeah, digital plates. So the guy's he's like an engineer. He's like, I describe him as, like the law-abiding citizens guy. Yeah, he's that think tank guy. Yeah, like he's, what did he say? He goes, he's not the guy who you send to go and murder somebody. He's the guy who figures out how to murder them without being in the room, right?
Clyde has a brain. He's a think tank type guy. His specialty was low impact kinetic operations.
Just a hell of a fancy way to say that he kills people.
We kill people. He figured out how to do it without ever being in the same room.
Like, he's not a murderer, but like he's an engineer that really you can see this guy. He's like that. He's that law-abiding citizen guy for the engineering world, right? That's how I've kind of pigeonholed him. And this is the first night, so we driving back to the hotel, and we get valet parking. And the other lady I was with, she jumped out. She went, and I thought it'd be rude if I just leave him, and I just jumped out. And I was like, let me just hold back and wait for him to sort out his valet and go. And jumped out. And he goes, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Where do you want to go?" And he goes, so we jumped in the car, and so he's familiar with the area, and the valet guy goes, "Oh, there's a beautiful Italian up the road." And he goes, "You're gonna get a pizza?" I was like, "Pizza?" Secretly, I've been checking out some restaurants. So I was going to go down by myself. So I knew there's an SDK up the road. There's a Nobu up the road. So I said to him, "How about Nobu?" And he just smiled. He goes, "I got you." We just went to Nobu, right? He knows the area. So almost that just he's dined there before because he stays in that hotel, which was the Hard Rock, right? And he was like, I think it almost pigeonholed me into, okay, yeah, the guy's on what I'm on. So we went to the restaurant, had a great meal, and oh my God, guess what happened when I went to the restaurant? So I didn't have my wallet. So I'm chowing down. I'm enjoying myself. Then I was like, I didn't plan to go out. I got no wallet. But I got Apple Pay. So I'm like, they must accept Apple Pay. So the last 10 minutes of my meal, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this guy to think I'm like some sort of leech or whatever. Like some expensive date. I went to go Nobu. I ain't got no wallet, yeah? What kind of life is this? So anyway, so towards the end now, I'm just thinking they must accept Apple Pay. It's like universal everywhere now, right? So anyway, I was like, before I even had a chance, the guy had done some maneuver, gave the guy the card, blah, 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 it was done. And I said, "You want to go half?" He said to me, nah, we don't do that over here. I said, "Jeez, God is good, first of all. But I love the energy. We can be friends because I'm like that as well. So sometimes when you're going out, listen, I got it, no problem." Anyway, so we did Nobu, went back to the hotel, we called it a night, and the next day was the first big day. So that Wednesday was started at like 7 p.m., right? 7 till 9, and then we went for dinner. Now the Thursday was the first day of the training with Brian Tracy, and we went to his studio where he films everything. And one of the things that's really interesting, he's got this massive office which he shares with this guy. And one of the interesting things I found was the fact that the office was empty. It was a ghost town. So they're having this problem now where all of the people don't want to go back in the office. It's a new problem. If you can solve that problem, people, there's a business to be had there. Because now you need to integrate the staff. You need to do so many things to measure performance, measure how productive people are, etc. But none of the staff want to get in the office, and they said literally, we've got no choice because if we don't accommodate their need, then they'll go somewhere else. And I thought that was a really interesting thing. That the power shift has changed. no more you have to be in the office. It's all hybrid working now, right? So anyway, we did the training. The OG came in. You choose your lunch every day, and it was just an incredible day of training. And we filmed first of all like almost like an elevator pitch. And if those of you don't know, Bianca is an OG at the elevator pitch, and teaches everybody, including me. And I had a clear and succinct way of describing who I was and what I do, which is really cool. And then Brian and the team, like, it's really weird seeing the OG watch me on screen. It was strange, right? It was crazy. So anyway, I'm just looking at the schedule here, right? So we did that. That was on the Wednesday. And after the session, so I don't know if you already want to know what we learned, but I don't even think it's that important, to be fair. But it's just, the training was all about how to be a public speaker. And the last call I just was on just now, she said to me, what was the biggest thing you learned from that session? And do you know what the funny thing is? I don't want to be a speaker. Right? And that's what I learned from the first day. I don't want to be a speaker. I want to be a trainer. I want to provide training, provide solutions to the corporate's problems, but I don't want to be a speaker. Speaking I will do as and when that opportunity comes up, and I will price it at a level where it makes sense, but I don't want to be speaking. That was like, originally I was like, yep, now I'm moving along in my journey, my brand is what it is, I'm getting opportunities to speak for a certain price, let me just excel and just do this. And then after day one, I was like, I don't want to be a speaker. So now this became about the art of communication and how to communicate your message in an effective way, which is really cool. So that Wednesday, we went to dinner, all of us, with Brian and his wife. It was a really nice, intimate setting. Had dinner. This is not the Wednesday. This is the Thursday now. This is the Thursday. After day one of training, went to dinner, which was really cool. And that was it. That was night day one. Then day two, Friday. It's a whirlwind, you know. It was a whirlwind. Day two, Friday. Again, an amazing day of training. And you start writing what they call a king's speech. So I found this really interesting. Like that you're developing the speech, and he was giving some anecdotes though. You know, Brian is loud. If you've ever been on a training course with him, he's just got so much wisdom and knowledge, and so much, like, he spins off the course, but he's just dropping bars. You're just like, oh my God, this guy's just dropping bars. And you're like, yeah, it makes sense. He's got so much wisdom and knowledge, and you're just learning and listening to the OG, right? So we're in that training course, and we're learning and developing. This is the Friday. And we are preparing our King's speech. And I always remember, I can't remember if this is Friday, Saturday, but I thought what a great part of this was. I'm watching MLK and some other speakers on stage with Brian Tracy, like, just, you know, analyzing the best in the game. And when you think about the speech by the great man, right? And you're like, yeah, when you analyze it and you reverse engineer what the speech has with some technical knowledge, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even see that, which was really interesting. So that was Friday, which was really cool. And then Friday night we went out. We went out for dinner. Me and the guy I was mentioning. It was like, yeah, we're gonna go for dinner. Went for dinner. Had a great dinner. Got back relatively early-ish in my standards. But I now had a training webinar, self-made, at 2 in the morning. So by the time I got home, I was like, I'm just gonna sleep. Got home, like, call it 12:31. Then by the time I set up my lighting, get everything ready, I had to deliver a session. So I had 90-odd people, 100-odd people on a webinar without sleeping. And I'm already having sleeping problems because of this time zone difference. 8 hours behind, so it's 10 a.m. usually in the UK. So I have to deliver a webinar. And luckily, the afternoon session was Bianca's session. I tried everything to get Bianca to deliver this session. She was not having it because it was something that I have quite technical knowledge on, and fair play to her. Anyway, delivered the session, was on search engine optimization, and the mentees absolutely loved it, blown away. But I was hanging. Finished at like 4 in the morning, went to bed, Had to get to training for 8:30. I'm a mess. So Saturday, the last day, I'm a mess. And we have to deliver a speech on camera, recorded, and Brian Tracy filming. Everybody had homework. I didn't even really get to finish the homework. And if something it always says is some of the key things to success with keynotes, preparation, practice. And I'm like, oh my God. Let me come back actually. That Saturday morning, we had to deliver a poem. So the poem, we were all given a separate poem to learn. And I was like, I can't go to this session without learning. And no one ever really taught me how to memorize stuff. They say we should memorize stuff, but no one ever really taught me. Did anybody teach you? I don't know. No? So I was like, how am I going to learn this? So I decided I'm going to repeat. So it was 27 lines on this poem. I'm going to repeat every line for 1 minute over and over again in my head. So I did that. Then I added the first line to the second line. And I learned the poem. I was like, why didn't they teach me this at school? This is amazing. Right? So I learned this poem, went to the webinar, to the session. I was a mess, had breakfast. And at one point now, everyone's going to film. And at one point, I'm like, I cannot look at my screen. My eyes are going all over the place. I can't function. And I said to one of the trainers, Brian's daughter, and I said, is there somewhere that I can go and have a nap? She goes, yeah. I was like, oh, good. So she took me to this place where it's like a reclining chair. Oh! I had 7 minutes. I was back. I was back, baby. I was back. I came back firing. That's all I needed. I had my 7-minute nap, and I was back on form. Came, finished the rest of the webinar, went and delivered my speech, my King speech, recorded it, and Brian watched it. They gave some critique, blah, blah, blah. Incredible. That was the Saturday. So overall, 3.5 days, or 3 days, and then we had a lunch, a cocktail reception. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Priceless. And one of the things is sometimes, right, the people in the room that you meet on these programs, you could hit it off with somebody. It's not the reason to do it, but I genuinely think I'll have a friendship with this guy for a long time, and we have shared so many synergies in life and in business. I think definitely there's some business to be done, but there are other people on that course that I also found need my services, and I'm far further along on my journey than they are. Now, let me put this into context. I am definitely not the most wealthiest person in that room. There are people there making money, but in terms of knowledge, experience, and what I've done, I'm definitely a lot further along the journey than they are. So a lot of them are in the corporate world, and some of them are just starting in business. But some people's jobs were like, when I say 6 figures, I mean like close to 7 figures in terms of salary. Yeah. So, and that was basic alone. So people had money, and I think there's still a lot of consultancy for me to do. For those people in that room. So there's conversations happening at the moment. Will anything happen? Who knows? Let's see. We'll wait and see, right? So that was the training done. Saturday night, I think the rest of it is a bit of a blur. So we went out Saturday night, went for dinner, blah, 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 had some drinks, great night. Remember, I'm leaving Sunday afternoon. We say our farewells. And yeah, I went to the bar after that, just hang out, met some American people, which was interesting. Yeah, and I asked for a B-52 shot. So please show the people what a B-52 shot looks like. And what came was a big tumbler glass with like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, I tried to order that actually when we went to the restaurant the day before, and it was terrible. And my pal said to me, you don't get to order anymore. I felt like a little kid. I was like, this guy's mocking me, yeah? But the drink looked terrible. I was like, why doesn't anybody know how to make a B-52? It's not rocket science. Maybe it's just a UK thing, because I went to more than one place and nobody knew how to make this drink. Anyway, coming back Saturday, just did our drinks, finished up. Sunday was checkout day, so I just went to go to like a marina, and there was this massive ship. Oh my God, I have to find a picture and send it to you so you can put it in. And there was this ship, and it was huge, and it inspired me to definitely want to do a cruise. So If anybody's done a cruise before, put it in the chat box. I want to know, because the ship looks huge. I started Googling it, and it was like, oh my God, I want to do a cruise. And I realized at that point as we went to this Mexican restaurant. I'm not a big Mexican food fan. All this making some Mexican food, burritos, like I'm just like I'm just not Mexican. I always think about it, but I'm just not a big Mexican food fan. I was like, anyway, so I had Mexican food and just chilled out. Then went back to the hotel, checked out, and went to the airport. Guess who I bumped into again? Mr. Eddie Hearn, the main man himself again, right? And his team. Didn't have a conversation with him. Yeah, that was the journey. That was the journey. Incredible week. So I was pretty much there a week. Flew out on the Sunday afternoon. Arrived back in the UK on the Monday afternoon. Got back, changed, showered. I had a webinar that day. It was our first webinar that we had delivered. We were delivering how to become a published author. And we had just short of 200 people registered for this. And it was the first time. So we had to get our synergy on. We had prepared everything already in terms of the slides and stuff. But when delivering a webinar for the first time, there are always, we're quite well versed in delivering it, but there's always like little bits that you want to improve on. So it was the first time. So we delivered that. We did a good job. People consumed and bought the product as well, which was awesome. But it was our first time. And that was it. That was the journey. And yeah, before something I remembered when we were trying to go to the airport from the UK to California. What's going on with Ubers? Why are Ubers just you can't get an Uber for love nor money? You can't book an Addison Lee for love nor money? What's going on? So I had to, of course, have what we call Byron problems, and I messaged one of my drivers to come pick me up and take me in the rolls. So it was rather stressful, but one must enjoy the perks of one's labor. So I had that, which was pretty cool, and I don't often. I'm happy to jump in. I'm happy for the guys, the team, to crack on, make money, do what they have to do. I'll get an Uber, no problem. I don't need to use the service. And for those who are not familiar, I have a luxury chauffeur business with ground transports. For ground transport, so we have Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Range Rovers, to name a few. Right, we deliver luxury, and I have cars sitting on my driveway that I just, I would rather get an Uber and let you guys work than occupy your time. So I thought I'd just add that to give you some context of the journey. So that was how I pretty much spent. I reckon it was $15,000 to $20,000. I've not done the math. But would you ask me if it was value? If you took the money out of the equation, was it valuable? Absolutely. And money is there to be spent, and you can always make more money. But there still is this thing in the back of my mind that's like, but that's 3.5 days for £10,000, or $10,000, sorry. But then on the flip side of that is my day rate is more expensive. If you put those day rates together, more expensive than that. Although I did share that experience with 9 other people. So it's like, So my question to the people is this: would you spend $10,000 on a training course? Yes or no? Put it in the comments below. And people, look, I need you guys to support this channel. I need you to subscribe. And all these hundreds, thousands of views, I need you to subscribe to the channel. Please. Click the notification bell, subscribe, like, share, and comment below. If you would like more vlogs like this, where I'm giving you what it's like to go to an event, training course, or whatever, like it. Let me know this is what you guys want, and I will, of course, endeavor to deliver. So that is the Brian Tracy vlog, Byron style. Instead of, hey, I'm Byron, and I'm here today. This is downloading it in one go. I know it's probably really interesting for you to see it in real life, in real time, but I'm really, really, really terrible at capturing information. And also, it's really weird sometimes when you're like that person in the room that's like, so this is the version you're going to get for this particular one. and hopefully I'll be able to do many, 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 many more. Oh, one of the other benefits, you get personal endorsement from the main man. Oh, priceless, priceless. The guy's the number one best-selling author in time management and also sales in the world. Has sold tens of millions, not tens of thousands, tens of millions of books. Chale. Anyway, 30 odd minutes of the downloading or from my brain. I'm sure I've missed out many, many, many things, such as life. Follow me on Instagram and you'll be able to catch that in real life. Link in the description below. And this is me signing off, Mr. B Self-Made. Until next time.